Blaylock Heating and Air Conditioning and Plumbing Services. If you're looking for a way to cut your utility bills, we're here to help with the York high-efficiency heating and cooling and the Ream tankless water heater with 95% efficiencies. So to have a red truck rolling your way today, give us a call. That's Blaylock Heating and Air Conditioning and Plumbing Services, 782-8940. That's 782-8940.
Burton Pools and Spas. Check them out on their website, burtonpools.com. See their selection of hot spring spas, doughboy pools, and in-ground selections. As always, free spa and pool water testing. Burton Pools and Spas, your source for backyard fun. burtonpools.com. Chlorine-free Backwasil pool care system. The difference is clear. burtonpools.com. With 2 locations in Fort Smith and Springdale to serve you. burtonpools.com.
Welcome to the Northside Grizzly Coaches Show. Now, here's Buzz with Coach Mike Fallure.
Hello, everyone, and a very pleasant good evening to you as we welcome you inside Sam's Southern Eatery for the Mike Fallure Coaches Show. Coach, we're not even to the second game yet. It's been 22 days since we've had contact. That was Southside. It's been a journey, but right now the Grizzlies are undefeated.
Yeah, it's talking with our kids yesterday, it's just so never dealt with anything like this before. And, you start off and you prepare every day for your first game and you get excited and you play and you win. And, you have an open week, which was good because we're getting ready to play Greenwood. Gives us a couple extra days to correct the things that we did wrong the first week and to get ready to go play a good Greenwood team. And then series of things start happening, a coach gets sick, then a player gets sick, and then a couple other coaches, and then on Sunday at 5, we're meeting the 4 of us that are still standing, getting ready for Greenwood, and get a call at about 5 o'clock that, we're not going to get to play. And then Greenwood calls Harbor, who happened to be open that Friday, who's supposed to play us this Friday, and kind of says, hey, there's no guarantee they're going to be able to play you. Let's play. And so then we lose 2 games. And so you're sitting there looking at it going, oh, my gosh, it's going to be almost a month before we play again. And luckily we got on the phone and started looking, and more same thing happened to them, and they called and set up this game. So here we go. We're going to finally get to play again.
Well, Coach, that was one of my questions, was really how that process took place. Once we played Southside, and even you and I talked about before the game, we're just glad we're getting to that point because it was touch and go all summer, whether or not we were really going to have a season. Southside being the first game of the season, since everything has changed now, they're not in our conference anymore. That was a game that I think we all decided, hey, if we're going to get one, that's the one that we'd like to have.
Yeah, I mean, they're your rival. It doesn't matter if it's game 1 or game 10. And after playing it, it was different. Playing it the very first ball game, maybe not quite the build-up that you normally have, but I was proud of our kids. Southside came out and played really hard and was really excited with to play us. And we didn't particularly start off that well in the first quarter. Defensively, we missed a couple of tackles. They got big plays, ended up scoring. Could have easily scored twice. But then offensively, we kept moving the ball. We shot ourselves in the foot the first drive with a penalty and then started scoring. And the second half played really, really good. So I was proud of our kids. 35-7. We took most of our guys out with about 10 minutes to go in the game. So it was a big win for us, 5 years in a row. Played them in the JV game Monday night, beat them again. So we've not lost to Southside in 5 years in anything, and that's kind of our goal, and we don't want it to change. So we have to keep working and doing what we have to do to keep that intact.
35-7 was the final score. Coach, you mentioned that they really came out. They played hard. Defense did a great job holding at the 1-yard line to start with. Then they were able to punch one in, and then the Grizzlies got going after that. After the game, overall assessment of what you saw.
We were pleased as coaches. I mean, obviously we weren't pleased with the way it started. I mean, you could tell that first time live tackling the whole ball game, we missed some tackles that gave them some big plays. Offensively, we did some things that were really good. We're just a little bit off on a couple of things, but overall, I think all our coaches were happy with the effort. I don't think our kids got really emotionally high like they normally do for this game. I felt like we were kind of flat in the beginning, but part of that may be, you hear all summer long, you're supposed to beat them, and you don't get yourself ready to play like you should. But and that's not taking anything away because Southside played a great first quarter, first half. And but overall, we were proud. I mean, you hate what's happened because you wanted to take what happened that night, go that next week and make those corrections, and then go down to Greenwood and play. But so it's almost worse than starting over because for 2 weeks we only practiced 4 days.
Right.
Because they the first week we were off and we were going to go Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Well, then we got put out of school, the whole school on that Tuesday, so we didn't practice. We're going to practice Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Well, Friday we started having those issues, so I didn't have practice Friday. Then the next week we're canceled Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and we got to practice a little bit with our offense and our defense Thursday and Friday. So it's really like a first game again for us.
Well, Coach, everybody understands the pandemic and what you're having to deal with for that, but go back to the Southside game. We also had a hurricane that was coming through, and we were touch and go on whether or not we were even going to play.
Yeah, and, for as much as we heard about the hurricane, we really had zero. I mean, it missed it a little bit, but it was very humid, and which affected some kids late in the game. But, no, we were lucky to get to play, and, I mean, we're just – like I've told them all year long, we got to play every game like it's your last one, unfortunately, because it could be. And they've done a good job with the first one.
Right, and kind of keep the kids' mindset where it needs to be with everything that you're dealing with, and especially when you have Southside as an opener, not knowing for sure if you're going to be able to tee it up or not. How do you control that mind in, the day before the game or even game day?
Well, it's tougher than it's ever been because of the situation we're in with school, where they have the option to stay home and do their work, come to school. We don't really see them except for that 2.5 hour time period for practice. So, all of our coaches do a great job of talking to their position groups about taking advantage of the opportunity to play, get better each day, and those things. And that's something that has worried me a little bit this week because some of our kids thought that when we canceled the Greenwood game that was it.
Right.
And so it was that, well, heck, we're not even going to play anymore. No, that's not what's happening. Calm down. So we just we got to get back on the field and play a football game.
So overall, the Southside game, when you assess that, there were some things I know that you are very proud of, some things that you want to work on, but it was a very convincing win, 35-7, 35 unanswered points. How about Xavion Zephyrs, the X? Is that what you call him?
X.
The X. Scoop and score, Coach, 92 yards. It looked like he was going to need a little help from Jack Green getting into the end zone, but what was that all about? I mean,
well, X, if you don't know him, he's not a very big guy,
right?
But he plays 5 times his normal size. He's a get after it little joker, and Sean, they were moving the football,
right?
21-7, and they're moving the ball, and Sean Bishop, the quarterback, makes a little run, and he comes from his linebacker spot and puts a pretty good hit on him.
Right.
Ball pops out and takes one bounce right into X's hands, and there he goes, 92 yards, and that was a backbreaker for him.
Yes, exactly. That was a drive. They looked like they were going to get in the red zone and possibly get some points out of it.
And that happens. Game's over. You could just see it go the other way, and then we went down, scored again, and I think there was if I remember right, 10 minutes, 14 seconds left, and we got Drayden and everybody out and got to play a lot of kids.
A lot of concentration by X on that play to scoop that ball up and the presence of mind just to get it and go. If Arkansas could have done that against Ohio State in the Sugar Bowl, that would have been a win for Arkansas.
Yeah, I remember that. That's true.
Well, Coach, I know you had to scramble around to get this game scheduled with more. We're going to come back after a break, talk about that a little more with Coach Fuller right after this from ERC.
Contemporary townhomes, luxurious apartments, and the convenience of nearby businesses. Welcome to the Hub at Providence. Providence, at its heart, the Hub is an exciting new live, work, play neighborhood, unlike any other in Chaffee Crossing or the Fort Smith metro area, and you can be a part of it if you act now. Own, rent, and work opportunities are all options as this new venture community unfolds. Visit providenceerc.com to learn more and plan your visit.
The biggest selection and the lowest prices on a new Buick are at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 2020 Buick Encore has plenty of cargo space and it's loaded with technology, only $19,995. And the 2020 Buick Envision has all the features and seating for 5. Take $9,000 off, only $28,985. The biggest selection, the lowest prices. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
You're in business to do business, not paperwork. That's where the skills of Potts & Company certified public accountants can help you succeed. Trust the experienced professionals of Potts & Company for tax preparation, bookkeeping, and other business services. Using QuickBooks for your operations? They're QuickBooks experts. The Potts & Company team can help you establish, organize, and optimize your QuickBooks for utmost effectiveness. Visit pottscpa.com to learn more.
Welcome back to Sam's Southern Eatery. We are live, 1813 Grand. If you've never eaten here before, you need to check it out. The food is fantastic. Coach, I know you had a sandwich before the game, and I mean not the game, before the broadcast started, and it looked pretty good. You got a little bit of it left in a box.
Hey, why do you always tell people that you know?
Well, I just want to obligate you to me because there's a piece of fish left, and I'd like to have that, you know, once we get through.
I understand. No, it's really good. I mean, and it's plentiful.
I'm going to tell you, the portions are large. Our broadcast crew was eating before you got here, and it's just unbelievable.
To know that.
Yeah. And they got the catfish plate, and it's more than 3 people can eat.
I got the catfish sandwich, and it's pretty darn
good.
So.
Well, they're located at 1813 Grand Avenue. Seafood, burgers, chicken. The food is really, really good. The hours are Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m., Sunday, noon to 7 p.m. Takeout, you can come get it here. They'll deliver it. Just a lot of ways to get the food, Coach. And we want to say thank you to them for sponsoring or letting us advertise or do our coaches show here. We also want to say thank you to Cox Your View, Channel 22. They have picked the Grizzlies up this year, and boy, the response has been tremendous on a lot of the viewers that are able to watch the Grizzlies play anywhere between here and Conway and up to Northwest Arkansas.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Just what's happened with this when you when you came to me with this idea in the beginning, and
right.
I was like, Buzz, it'll never work, and to see what it's turned into, and for all the Grizzly Nation out there that get to watch us, and hopefully we can put a product out there every Friday night that they're proud of.
Well, Coach, you've definitely done that, and what are you in your 8th year now?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things have really changed. Broadcast has changed. The Grizzly football has changed. It's been exciting. Talk about beating Southside for 5 years straight now. That's so important to the Grizzly fans, and I know that you get a lot of viewers from Florida and Georgia. You talked about that earlier, that tune in to watch, how the Grizzlies do, and we appreciate them. And we also appreciate Harry Robinson, Pontiac Buick GMC. They are the coach's sponsor, the coach's show sponsor. They have a new location now in Salisaw, and if you're in the need of a vehicle, new or pre-owned, you need to check them out.
That's great. We appreciate everybody that sponsors us and helps us do the things that we want to do to make our football program stand above some of the others.
Well, you've got the hardest job of all, trying to keep everything together and dealing with all you're dealing with right now. Coach, it's been a puzzle, no question about that. Let's talk a little bit more about when Harbor accepted the game with Greenwood. You had to scramble around to get the game with Moore. I don't think that these two teams have ever played a football game against each other that I know of. Yeah. They're 1-1 right now. They won their opener, I believe, against Edmond. They lost against Westmore, and this was supposed to be an open date for them, I believe.
That's correct.
And now we're going to play them. So I'm looking forward to the trip over there. Have family there. Going to be able to spend a little bit of time, but more than anything, looking forward to a Grizzly victory. So what do you know about the Moore Lions?
Well, last year they were state semifinalists, got beat in the semifinals. They had a great quarterback that went to Kansas, a running back that rushed for 1,700 yards. they lost some good players just like we did. They've got a good group coming back. They're very big, very physical. A couple of really good skill kids. I don't know their names. Number 7 will start at quarter. Their starting quarterback got hurt 2 weeks ago, and so they're going to replace him with number 7.
I think it's Marcus Dawkins is his name.
Well, he can fly.
Yeah.
I mean, he's very athletic and scary. They got a big receiver, number 10, out there, and he, just really good skill guys along with big linemen. They're a quality football team. We're going to have to go over there and play a really good game, especially knowing that we're down 3 or 4 guys that are still not back. So, it's football, that mentality, the next man up. And so we got some guys that are going to get their opportunity tomorrow night, and they're going to have to take advantage of it for us to be successful.
Well, they're excited about playing the Grizzlies. I've been talking to J.D. Northcutt, who's their play-by-play guy. He's been doing it for 30 years. He knows as much about that team as anybody. And he did talk about last year and the fact that they got to the semifinals, first time since 2000 that they've been there. They did lose some players, but they got some athletes. He said the kids that are taking their place, they're athletes. And so, hey, they want to win just like we do.
Yeah, it's a big game for both of us. I mean, it wasn't on either one of our schedules. I mean, we don't know. Our kids don't know about them. They don't know about us. So, it's going to be a little bit – I wish we could have played here versus having to go, 3 hours from here. But when you haven't played a game, you want one, you just got to take what you can get as far as here, there, whoever. And I think it's a good tune-up for us with the size that we're going to be playing next week with Bryant. So to play some big guys, and so it's good for us to play. It's good for our kids to play. And we got to be ready. We got to come out of the chute and get after it.
What is the schedule for tomorrow? How are you going to, as far as leaving time and getting the kids some food and that type of thing? I know you have a normal schedule if everything was normal, but since this is not, how have things changed?
Well, we're trying to keep it as normal as it would be on a normal travel. So, the difference is normally they're in school in the morning. Well, most of these guys will not be in school tomorrow. They'll be doing their stuff online. So I'm having them come to school at 12 o'clock. We're going to try to get on the buses and leave within 15 minutes. We're going to go to Oklahoma Baptist in Shawnee, pull off there and do our walkthrough, eat a pregame meal, get back on the bus, head over to Moore, which is about 40 minutes, and start getting ready and get ready to play.
What's the pregame meal, Coach?
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A. And
Chick-fil-A.
What time do you think that's going to take place?
About 2:45 to 3.
So you're leaving when?
12:15.
So I'm just trying to time this.
Well, you
so
come on.
I
got extras.
Coach, I appreciate everything you do for me, and it's just an honor to be associated with the Grizzlies. You and I are both ex-players, and it runs deep with us, and I'm looking forward to making that trip down I-40 west, get to Moore, and sit back. I think their press box is been remodeled due to the last tornado that they had, so I understand it's a big, roomy place, and it's going to be a different broadcast than we've normally done because Grizzly TV will now be audio only. I would like to explain that to our viewers that when you tune in tomorrow, 6:30, the Coaches Show, it'll be on the Cross 98.7. It'll be on Grizzly TV. It'll be on Your View, the Cox Channel 22, but it will be audio only. When you're on Grizzly TV or Cox 22, there'll be a panel there that will show the scores, and you will be able to hear the broadcast, but no video, and it's due to a contract obligation with the Moore Public Schools that they can't have a visiting live stream. So we apologize for that, but still we want you to listen to the broadcast, and we'll try to make it as exciting as we possibly can. I'll try to do the best I can. I know Coach Fleur is going to try to rack some points up. He brought his offensive coordinator with him tonight, Greg Kendrick. He's going to be talking with us in the next segment, Coach, and I'm excited about that.
Yeah, that's definitely Greg's job is to put some points on the board. And I've been told by the defensive coaches if we can get 35, they feel pretty good about it.
Well, it was 49 22 days ago, so they've lightened up a little bit on him.
Come down a little bit on him. So hopefully we've got a good plan. I think our kids are excited. We got, like I said, we got to come out playing from the get-go.
Right.
We can't, just opportunity that we weren't going to have, and now we've got it. So let's take advantage of it. You talk about Greg. I'm so glad that he's part of our coaching staff. I mean, he's done a great job. I mean, and I want to just point out Greg. Every coach I've got has battled through this. Mm-hmm. We at one point we had 5 coaches out, And you don't realize, guys that coach in small schools that have 3 or 4 guys realize but when you used to having 9 people and you divvy up all the different jobs, the laundry, the film, the whole bit, and all of a sudden you're down to 4 people working with 100 kids, you realize how lucky you are to have all these guys and what they do. And so I appreciate them so much, and I'm glad, they're all getting better. We've had one that was pretty sick, and he's a lot better today than he was. And I'm just tickled to death that all our kids are good and our coaches are going to be good. And so just want to get it back going and get this bad behind us, and let's go forward.
Coach, thank you. We're going to bring on offensive coordinator Greg Kendrick next. We'll be back right after this word from Burton Pools and Spas.
Burton Pools and Spas. Check them out on their website, burtonpools.com. See their selection of hot spring spas, doughboy pools, and in-ground selections. As always, free spa and pool water testing. Burton Pools and Spas, your source for backyard fun. BurtonPools.com. Chlorine-free Backwasil pool care system. The difference is clear. BurtonPools.com. With 2 locations in Fort Smith and Springdale to serve you. BurtonPools.com.
When I talked to the Sawyers about some windows and the concrete work, they showed me several different options of things that they had done, and it all looked good. I would recommend Sawyers to anyone. If they came out and looked at my concrete, they could see the quality job that Sawyers did. They were very professional and top quality. They were on time and on budget. I am 100% satisfied with the work that they've done.
For more than 50 years, Air Compressor Equipment Company has provided solutions for the oil, gas, and industrial markets, becoming an industry leader in custom fabrication. An unwavering focus on assembly, sales, and service means that whatever size project you have, ACEC can deliver what works. Air Compressor Equipment Company supplies to businesses working in the most demanding environments around the world, but is still a dedicated member of the Arklahoma community. Learn more at acec-ark.com. Air Compressor Equipment Company. Field tested, quality driven.
Welcome back to Sam's Southern Eatery as we welcome offensive coordinator Greg Kendrick. Greg, I'll tell you what I want to do. I don't want to talk about football first. Let's go back. All right, let's go back to when you were young, when you were growing up. I want to kind of get your history. Where'd you grow up? How'd you get interested in football?
I grew up Van Buren, graduated in 98, and 98, my senior football year, tore my ACL. And Coach Pendergrass and those guys, Coach Bach, Coach Wozniak, they were, I guess I was fortunate enough that they allowed me to get in. That was Game 7 at Russellville, and they allowed me to get in and coach. I started coaching centers, played offensive line at Van Buren. And from there, my love of the game, I always had it, but it just kind of took off my love of coaching.
So you got hooked then?
Got hooked, got hooked at, I guess, 17 when I graduated.
Right.
And from there, I actually started coaching Little League football while I was at UA Fort Smith, at West Ark at the time, I guess. Coached Little League football in Van Buren, and went to Fayetteville after a couple years and volunteered under Coach Malazan.
All right.
At Springdale
Pretty good
High.
start there.
Yeah, good start. Little resume builder. I spent 2 years at Springdale High and coached JV offensive line there.
So when you were there, is that where you decided, hey, I want to be an offensive guy? I mean, has that always been in the back of your mind?
Well, I graduated in the wishbone.
Right.
We were running triple option in the wishbone and had no clue about throwing the football.
Yeah.
And knew that Gus was cutting edge at the time.
Right.
With what he was doing in high school football, just in the nation was cutting edge. And I knew I wanted to get in there. Wanted to learn about football and just had a passion for the game.
Right.
And, it took eight different times beating on Gus's door.
Right.
Gus said, I ain't going to let you in. Because we were in the same conference at the time. And
gotcha.
he was kind of scared, a young guy. And after about the 8th time, he said, you're not going to give up.
Right.
And I said, no, sir. So he actually put me in the junior high for a year. And then, and I worked under Don Strubing, offensive line guy. Played at Arkansas, was All-American at UCA, and was coaching 1 year in junior high there. And then he moved up, and Don brought me up with him,
Gotcha.
coaching JV offensive line. So I knew Gus was innovative.
Right.
Wanted to learn about throwing the football.
from that point, where'd you go?
I spent actually 1 year at West Fork. My first job out, I was enrolled in the MAT program and got my first job offer at West Fork. Spent about 4 months. Spent a football season. Got hired in August, left in December. Or actually left in January, I'm sorry. So I spent about 4 or 5 months at West Fork first year. Then Rick was hired at Greenwood, Rick Jones. And I was Rick's first hire in 2003. Spent from 03 to 08. Or I'm sorry, 03 to 07 football season at Greenwood, coaching offensive line, and was hired at Charleston as the offense coordinator. Was an offense coordinator from 08 to 12. And then at 13, in 2013, took the head job and spent, I guess, from 2013 to last year as a head coach there, and took the OC job at Alma. And then, now
here you are.
Here at Northside. Yes, sir.
Now you're the OC here.
Yes, sir.
We've heard a lot about you, a lot of good things. I
appreciate
talked to Coach Fleur, and he said, man, this guy can coach, and has a lot of confidence in you. And I know Coach Fleur is he's a ball control. He wants to eat up that clock and control that game, and has been very successful at it. And your philosophy is a little bit different, so I know he's letting you mix in a little bit here and there. When you got to Northside and you see the talent that's there for you to coach with Dre Norwood and that stable of receivers and running backs.
No doubt. Yes, sir.
It's got to be exciting.
Oh, it's exciting. I'm coaching better kids than I've ever coached.
Yeah.
And in terms of athletic ability, kids are kids. Kids are great everywhere.
Right.
But in terms of athletic ability, you mentioned Norwood. I've never coached another athlete like him.
He's something.
In terms of we've got, I made the comment to someone the other day. We played Greenwood in JV, and they were talking about our tailbacks. We had the best 2 tailbacks in the nation in JV football. They were started every other program, we play. So we've got a stable of 5 tailbacks. We got receivers that are special. That can just flat run. We got, and so it's a special group of kids. I wish we had the reps. We're behind a little bit in terms of with the COVID. We missed 9 a.m. installs. We missed 10 spring practices. We missed 7-on-7. We missed team camps. We're probably 2,000 to 3,000 reps behind. And now, after this little incident we've had the last 2 weeks, and it's so the timing issue of it. After all that has been. There's some catch up to do.
Right.
But it's a special group of kids.
I'm gonna say this kind of low, kind of under the radar. Worst case scenario, Norwood sprains an ankle. He's not out for the season. He sprains an ankle. Who's your quarterback?
Walker Katsavis.
Walker Katsavis. He is a stud.
Without a doubt. He's he's a guy that we went in. And I kept, everyone says, hey, the guy's a workhorse. The guy can work. Guy can do this. Guy, and I guess Mike being his uncle, hey, hold on now. You don't know about that.
Right.
The guy's really special. He's a 6'4" kid that goes up and gets it. He fights for the ball, but he's a kid that does everything right.
Yeah.
He's a kid that understands our offense inside and out. He's a kid that we're Zooming or it's different now.
Right.
Whoever thought we couldn't meet individually, we've got a Zoom meeting now.
Right.
And so trying to install a brand new offense in a pandemic, he's a kid that, he showed me he made a own playbook himself. He's got
that coaching blood.
Yes, no doubt. So he understands our offense probably better than any kid we have in general, because he understands the quarterback aspect of it, but he also understands the receiver aspect of it.
Coach, I was watching him when I really got the first view of Walker. Was last year in a JV game against Southside. Needed a first down in the worst way. I think it was like 3rd and 5, but we really needed the first down, and he was on a zone read and got in trouble, and he could see that good things aren't getting ready to happen, and he did a shovel pass for a first down, and that's just thinking. It's a football mentality that, you really can't coach a lot of that.
Oh, he reacts. And the thing about Walker I probably love is his mentality and his unselfishness.
Yeah.
You go into Bentonville West scrimmage, didn't have a catch. And you never heard a negative work. He come to work the next day and hooked up and got after it. And guys like that get rewarded not for the simple fact that we're calling plays for him, because everything we do is progression-based. But the next, against Southside caught 7 balls.
Yeah.
And
big catches.
had 7 catches for 95 yards. And what he did with the ball in his hands showed how special he is.
Well, I wanted to say that kind of under the radar because Dre is a special young man, and you want to keep him, in that shotgun or that pistol, be as healthy as he possibly can. But if he is healthy, but you've got Walker as a receiver, and he's a big target, and so, like you said, we've just got a lot of different players. You're going into a game now that you don't know anything about. There's not much there to study. Mm-hmm. What I do know is they run a 3-3-5 defense. Yep. They're not a read and react defense. They've got a brand new coordinator. It's basically just attack. Yeah. How do you scheme against that?
We do what we do. It doesn't matter. We're not worried about, and this is going to sound, I guess, negative, but we're not worried about Moore, Oklahoma.
Right.
We're worried about Northside High School,
gotcha.
The Northside Grizzlies. We've got to get better at what we do. And that's what I said. We're behind in the big scheme of things. Of course, we've schemed, and we've got some stuff for more. Mm-hmm. But we're going to line up. We're going to run the wide zone. And that's who we are. That's what we do. And we're going to stretch the field 53 by 100. We're not going to worry about what more Oklahoma does because, like you said, they're going to line up in the odd stack and they're going to bring pressure. Right. And they're big and they're physical. But we're worried about Northside High School. And we're worried about making sure our kids prepare not just for more, but we've got to continue to get better, 1% better every day,
right.
And just continue working it. And it's a process what we're going through right now.
Well, Coach, we are so happy that your journey has brought you to the Northside Grizzlies, and we're looking forward to maybe a little more normal. I don't know when that's actually going to happen, but as soon as you finish with Moore, you've got to go east to Bryant, and that's a big physical team, and playing Bryant in just a normal situation is tough, but having to do it under these circumstances, we do appreciate what you bring to the table and gives us an opportunity. I know Coach Fuller is really appreciative, and his hire was good. We were excited when he was telling us you were coming, and seen nothing but good things so far.
I appreciate it. Thank
You've
you.
been listening to Greg Kendrick. He is the offensive coordinator for the Grizzlies. We'll take a break and be back with a question and answer session with head coach Mike Fleur right after this from Potts Accounting Firm.
You're in business to do business, not paperwork. That's where the skills of Potts & Company certified public accountants can help you succeed. Trust the experienced professionals of Potts & Company for tax preparation, bookkeeping, and other business services. Using QuickBooks for your operations? They're QuickBooks experts. The Potts & Company team can help you establish, organize, and optimize your QuickBooks for utmost effectiveness. Visit pottscpa.com to learn more.
The biggest selection and the lowest prices on a new Buick are at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 2020 Buick Encore has plenty of cargo space and it's loaded with technology, only $19,995. And the 2020 Buick Envision has all the features and seating for 5. Take $9,000 off, only $28,985. The biggest selection, the lowest prices. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Fairs, football, and fall. What a great time of year. Mike Blaylock with Blaylock Heating and Air Conditioning and Plumbing Services. If you're looking for a way to cut your utility bills, we're here to help with the York high-efficiency heating and cooling products and the Ream tankless water heater with 95% efficiencies. So to have a red truck rolling your way today, give us a call. That's Blaylock Heating and Air Conditioning and Plumbing Services, 782-8940. That's 782-8940.
Welcome back to the Mike Fleur Coaches Show. We're live at Sam's Southern Eatery. I'm looking forward to through this last segment here, get what's left of what you had.
That's
really looking forward to that. This is the question and answer segment. We'll have our listeners and our fans, they'll send in questions for Coach to answer, and I don't ever let him know up front what they are. He'll be hearing them for the first time right now. So, Coach, let's start with the first one. How, and you've really already answered this, how has the coronavirus affected your travel and eating plans for road games?
Well, I mean, we're a little different. You know, when I first came, we would always, we're always traveling to Little Rock. Mm-hmm. So we'd always stop in Conway and eat at the Golden Corral, and it was good. The kids did great, but we just got to talking as coaches about how it's just a pain to take 100 people in a restaurant and eat and do all that. So we stay outside. We've got a pretty good relationship with Coach Buchanan at Hendricks. So what we like to do is I'll get Chick-fil-A that morning in the warm bags and chips and some cookies and water, and we'll go to Hendricks and we'll get off the bus. We'll go let them go to the bathroom, then we'll go out on the field. We'll do our kicking game walkthrough, our offense, our defense, and we'll feed them Chick-fil-A sandwich and some chips and water. And they always want more, but we don't want them to eat too much before the game. And so then we'll get on the bus and head and play. And then after the game, we'll have always set something up with somebody in that area to bring the food to the stadium, and we give it to them when they get on the bus, and we roll home.
Right. So you try to keep it as normal as you possibly can right now. And that's the problem. I understand the game plan in that, because the more it's normal, the more these kids feel like it's just an everyday deal. They've been through the drill before.
Right.
And I think if it gets really out of hand, man, your mind gets off the game, and you definitely don't want that to happen. So I understand where you're going with that. Second question is, could you explain the school classroom and practice schedules now and how you make that work? Because there's some kids that are going to class and some that aren't. I think it's their choice.
Right. You know, they had a decision, them and their parents, to back in the summer before we started, to what they call virtual, which is they don't come to school at all. They're in a program where everything's online, and they work with teachers online. Then they had the blended option, which is they can come to school and they can also stay home and do their work. And as long as they're doing their work at home, they're good. If not, they have to come to school. But the majority of our kids are staying home and doing their work, and then they come to practice at one. We went to a block schedule, which means we have 4 classes a day, 90 minutes instead of 7 50-minute classes.
Right.
There with the teacher to get help.
Brings up another question that I just thought of. Since that has changed so much and they have the option to stay at home, what is the coaching staff? They have other duties than just coaching. I mean, some of them teach class. What does that do to them?
Well, they all have classes, and so they'll be in their classroom, and they may have one period they may have 15 kids or 20, and the next period they may have 3, but they're in there with those kids, and then they're teaching the kids that are there, plus the ones that are online. So they do both, and it's different for them too. And so a guy like David Little has 5 history classes, and so he's doing that all day long. And then once he gets done, he comes down there with us, and here we go right into practice.
5 history classes.
Yeah.
See that smart?
He's pretty smart.
Well,
or so he says he is.
Well, I'm gonna check in on that.
I don't know if I've heard any of his students say that he's real smart, but
Well, we all spend a lot of time together. I'm gonna start asking him some history questions.
Well, that's what we need to do.
All right. Next question, Coach. And I like this question. We watched Trey Norwood, who's now at OU, and Greg Washington, who is now at Missouri State. They were both defensive backs. Trey played some quarterback too at Northside. They played against each other this past Saturday in Norman. Both are former Grizzlies. You have sent many players over your career, and definitely in the last 8 years, on to play at the next level. Can you explain what goes into that process other than just a player's raw talent?
Yeah. Well, I want to talk about that first. We also had Keandre Thomas, who played earlier in the day.
That's exactly right.
Who was a graduate transfer from Minnesota to Kansas State, and he played Saturday morning. So it makes you feel, not just me, all the coaches. Coach Curry, who I'm going to talk about in what you're talking about with the college stuff in just a second, but to sit there and be able to turn on your TV and watch ex-Grizzlies playing, it's really good. And we've got more. And, so those were the 3 guys that were highlighted Saturday, and it was really exciting. I paid the $39.95
I did too.
To watch the Oklahoma Missouri State game, which wasn't much of a game, but I wasn't doing it to watch the game. I was doing it to see Greg and to see Trey.
Exactly.
So just a neat thing that they played each other, right out of the chute. But recruiting, and it's different. It's really different right now with the virus, because they've all shut down where you can't go to campuses, you can't go to camps, you can't do the things. So, like you said, first and foremost, the player has to have talent.
Yeah.
To go to the next level. And it's just what happens. You start off as a little kid playing in Pop Warner. Then it goes to junior high, it gets smaller. It goes to high school, it gets smaller. And it goes to college, it really gets small. And then if you're lucky, the few go to the NFL.
And there have been some Grizzlies in
That's
the
right.
NFL.
And I think a couple of these guys
I do
may
too.
have a chance. So, but, they, number one, have to take care of their grades.
Right.
They have to do a good job in the classroom. 16 core classes, they have to have a minimum of a 2.3, which doesn't sound hard. But for some of them it is, and then they have to have a test score to match it. So that's number one. Then we will start putting their names out as sophomores. It's getting earlier and earlier. As sophomores and juniors, Coach Curry and myself, I think it's one of the things we love the most about this is in the summers we will load up kids that have if it's even close, we'll take them to mega camps in Memphis. We've been to St. Louis. We've been to Sanford, Alabama. We've taken them everywhere, and then we'll take them to individual colleges where they want to see them. And then when they go to those, they have to do a good job. They have to run a good 40. They have to do good in the one-on-ones and all the things they test them in. But it's just a process of getting their names out there, getting their film, their highlight tapes where people can see them, getting them to the schools. And then when it comes time on Friday nights, they got to be players.
Got to perform.
And, Felix does, I think that's next to his family and his relationship with God and coaching football. I think Felix Curry enjoys that part of it as much as anybody I've ever been around in my life. Right. And when you talk to him, it's not just about playing football. It's about taking kids that maybe might not get out of the situation they're in, and football's the way out. Right. And he wants to see their lives change. And so he does a tremendous job.
He does, Coach, and you've pointed that out on a lot of occasions, but you do also, and I want to mention one player that's close to your heart, and that's Stevie Young, who is probably one of the best linemen that you've ever coached, and you've got a pretty storied career with state champions and kids that have gone on to play in the NFL, and Stevie is just real special to you, and I know you've done a lot to help him.
Yeah, Stevie's one of those guys that God blessed him with some ability and some size. And it can be a game changer for him. And so anything that, and I would do it for any, and I think we all kind of end up maybe having, I don't want to call them our favorites, but guys that you need a little extra help.
Exactly.
And I'd do anything for Stevie. And Stevie is doing a great job at Hutchinson, Kansas. And that's what when I talk to him, and it's hard to talk to Stevie because his phone changes all the time, but, you're this close. Yeah. You're this close. Just keep doing what you're doing, and you're going to sign a Division I scholarship out of there this coming spring, and the sky's the limit.
Right.
And so, he just won. But there are many more. We got Deuces down at UCA, James Clayton, Monty Parks. I mean, there's a ton of them. I'm going to forget who all they are.
You can't mention them all.
It's just, we're in this to win games, but we're in it to change kids' lives.
Help these kids.
Yeah.
And I've seen it, over the years, how you have transformed kids, and that's always the most important part. You definitely want to win games, but being a part of Northside and that tradition, and guys that are your age and then get a little older to my age, and you still look back at what that school meant to you and what those coaches meant to you. And my head coach passed away a few weeks back, and it just, it hurts your heart, because they are a big part of your life.
Well, and sometimes you have to do some things, say to them or do to them that they don't like. Yeah. And probably right then at that time they don't understand why you're doing it.
Right.
But hopefully they get down the road and they grow up a little bit and they say, well, wait a minute, I understand why he was doing what he did. But everything that we do is and we make mistakes, but is to try to better their lives, have a great time while they're playing football. And football's tough. It's not always fun.
Yeah.
And, but it's work. But the end goal is that we want to see guys leave here and be successful.
That's the most important thing.
That's right.
Coach, thank you for everything you do. Thanks for bringing your guest tonight, Coach Kendrick. Enjoyed talking to him, and I wish you all the luck tomorrow night against the Moore Lions. Like I said, it's a game that you had to scramble around and get, and don't have a lot of time to prepare for them, but we are going to go west, and hopefully we come back with a victory. But then we've got Bryant next week, so you have no time to rest after that.
No, you know, we talk about the 7A Central. I mean, it's every week.
Every week.
And so we're starting off with what's been the best one the last 2 years, and our kids will be excited. I mean, we've played them 4 times, I think, in the last 2 years. So they've been good games, all but one. So we're going to go down there with the mindset that we're going to shock them all.
What I'm looking forward to seeing.
All right.
Exactly, Coach. Thank you for everything.
You're welcome.
Good luck tomorrow night. I want to go over it again one more time. Kickoff is at 7. The Coach's Show is going to come on at 6:30. It's live on 98.7 The Cross. That is our radio station that carries the game. The audio will be available through Grizzly TV and Cox 22 Your View, and you can pick up those games, our game, that way. There will not be a live stream due to contractual obligations with the Moore Public Schools. We'll be back live on the air, live streaming the following week against Bryant. But this week it's going to be audio only, but we do need you to get on, listen, support those Grizzlies, and we're looking forward to getting victory. But tonight, Coach Fleur has really blessed us with Coach Kendrick and come in and giving us all this information. We appreciate that. I know he's going through a busy time with everything that he has to deal with. We also want to thank Sam's for letting us broadcast our show here. We look forward to being here again next week, same time, next week at 6 o'clock. That's going to wrap it up for this edition of the Mike Fleur Coaches Show. Thank you to Mix TV. Thank you to Zach Hightower. He is our producer. Darren Gerdner and John, who have all come in early. They get here about 4 o'clock and set up. We appreciate them. Thank you to all our listeners, our fans. We also want to say thank you to Harry Robinson, Pontiac Buick GMC for being the Coaches Show sponsor. Until next week, I'm Buzz Sawyer saying so long with Coach Mike Fleur, and as always, go Bears.
Go Bears.
The biggest selection and the lowest prices on a new Buick are at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 2020 Buick Encore has plenty of cargo space, and it's loaded with technology, only $19,995. And the 2020 Buick Envision has all the features and seating for 5. Take $9,000 off, only $28,985. The biggest selection, the lowest prices. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Burton Pools and Spas. Check them out on their website, burtonpools.com. See their selection of hot spring spas, doughboy pools, and in-ground selections. As always, free spa and pool water testing. Burton Pools and Spas, your source for backyard fun. BurtonPools.com. Chlorine-free Baquasil pool care system. The difference is clear. BurtonPools.com. With 2 locations in Fort Smith and Springdale to serve you. BurtonPools.com.
Weichert Realtors The Griffin Company provides an extraordinary real estate experience for both clients and agents. Now with offices in Bentonville, Springdale, Fayetteville, and Fort Smith, they proudly offer clients and customers the expertise you need when buying or selling. From contract to closing, their realtors are equipped with the knowledge and resources to ensure a smooth transaction start to finish. Visit them at 3920 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith or online at WeichertFortSmith.com. Experience the Weichert difference.
Yeah!